So Frank the rabbit says, "Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?" And then Donnie Darko's looking at him like all moody and like, "Fuck you talking about, you fucking rabbit?" Then he's like, "Oh wow, that feels so much better." And Frank the rabbit's like, "Right, I know." He's torn his stupid human man suit off. His little penis is there, of course. Give a bit of drip in there. Got to have a drippy penis. And Gretchen in the background's all horrified. Her boyfriend's just fucking torn his skin off, and he's jiggling about, doing a little jig, going, "Oh, God, this feels great. So much better movement, a lot lighter and fresher. God, that's good, isn't it? Right? Ah, see, Frank knows what's up." Frank the rabbit. Remember Donnie Dark? Oh, that was funny, wasn't it? Definitely worth spreading across 3 entire pieces of paper. Environment schmirman. Well, if Taylor Swift can take 13-minute flights in a private jet, I think I can use 3 bits of paper to tell a story that really only needed to take place on maybe one section of one sheet of paper. I probably could have drawn it all on this little fucking scrap, couldn't I? But then that wouldn't have the same narrative veritas as or impact, I guess would be. What does the word veritas mean? Do 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 do. Veritas. What does the word mean? Is the name given to the Roman virtue of truthfulness, which was considered one of the main virtues any good Roman should possess. Oh, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? I don't. Veritas. I mean, it does sound. It does have a Latin feel, doesn't it? Veritas. Yeah, from the Roman mythology, meaning truth. Well, in that case, I was using it incorrectly. I thought it meant like to have a lot of like impact, but it doesn't. It means to have truth. Narrative veritas. Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. All right, if you're so smart, why do you say in a car but on a train? Shouldn't it be in a train? Because you don't. I mean, some people do ride on a train. They physically ride on a train and it fucking goes about the place. But you get in a train, don't you? And in a plane also. You say I'm on a plane, but you're in a plane. And I only bring that up because maybe some people do say they're in a plane because I got a text message from somebody saying because they're travelling and they said I'm in the plane now. And I didn't bring it up because I thought, well, they live in a different part of the world. They probably have different cultural references to me. They probably talk different, like what I does. But in my head, as they text me that, I was thinking, you stupid fucking idiot. What fucking moron. What mentalist says that? I'm in the plane now. No, you're not. You're on the plane, you fucking dildo. And then I realised, oh no, I'm probably wrong on this one. Because that makes sense, doesn't it? To be in a plane, because you're in the plane, especially in the sky. You don't want to be on the plane unless you're doing a thing where you get strapped to the top of a biplane. You stand on the, do they call it like wing riding or something? And you go, then you're on a plane. But I guess really you are in a plane, so it's correct to say in a plane and not on a plane. You may or may not be able to tell. I don't really have a plan for this episode. It's just not much going on. I mean, there's plenty going on, but I don't want to start off going that way, but I'm horrifically depressed. I swear I say that, like, if not every week, every other week at least. Week. At least. I just feel so fucking just sick and tired of it all. It's just all getting a bit much. And I've been getting a lot of like bad news and a lot of weird news that just has me feeling just odd. And I literally cannot explain or express how I feel. I go to bed just feeling like odd, like not comfortable, but like not physically, but like on the inside, just uncomfortable and just like this looming like feeling of dread, kind of, but not that I expect that anything will happen. It's just that feeling is just like, oh, just can't fucking sleep, just can't fucking sleep. And yeah, and that's my own personal shit, let alone the state of the fucking world. I mean, it's just horrific. What else can I say? So I almost wasn't gonna. I was preparing to be like, okay, I'll put out a message saying no podcast this week because. But I figured, I'll sit down and fucking record some shit, see what comes out, see what I can shit out for you people. Demand I constantly create content for you to fucking sit there and absorb like a bunch of cunts. Although that said, I have had. I think the thing that perked me up. I'm not even doing anything. Do you want to see a cool thing I drew? Oh, it's from Sludge Life. I mean, you saw that one. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Oh, and that was off the back of that other one I did. Whatever the fuck that is. Oh, look at that. And then, look at that. And then fucking, look at that. Ooh, wow, look. It's all like... I think I overdid it. I tried to use a spray paint. I did spray paint as a background. I cut a stencil for the shipping containers. I forgot the word shipping container when I was doing that other Sludge Life podcast. I cut a stencil and then spray painted the background in and then Posca penned in all the shipping containers and shit. And then I used spray paint over the top of that to like give the appearance of like smog, like pollution. I think I overdid it a little bit. But if it's alright. Yo, Ghost. Ghost. I can't get my voice as deep as Big Mud. Mud deep. Blowing a slug, a body, big mud, pretty good dog, is a wicked bug. That's my one main issue I have with Big Mud's music is that I can make out like 2 words per song, and usually those words are sludge and life. Go figure, I suppose. But yeah, just randomly the other day I got a message from someone saying, hey, I've been watching all of your videos, really enjoying it. Thanks so much for all the content. And that genuinely perked me up. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? I will record a thing. It might not be good, but I'll record it. So yeah, shit like that really, it matters. Even just one message from one person saying, I really like your videos, thanks for making them, makes me think, like, oh, fucking okay. And I'm fully, we're getting there. Only really a few weeks away until the 250th 12-hour epic episode. See how that goes. A lot of people seem to be very eager to see that. And a lot of people, like 2, seem to be... Which for me, 2 is I consider... If 2 or 3 people message me about the same thing, that's a lot of people to be messaging about one particular thing at any given time. Whereas normally that doesn't happen, so it's a thing. Is there anything else in here? There's a guy blowing a guy, but the other guy's invisible. That was drawn, but I didn't like the blue, so I drew it separately. That was cool, wasn't it? I remember that one, and that I was going to do an alternate version because this is from my me throughout the years, and then there's me in my chair, whiskey and a cigarette. I don't smoke, but it was for the vibe. It fit the vibe, didn't it? Stick a fag in his hand, and not I'm allowed to say fag like that because it means cigarette. Well, it doesn't mean cigarette, but we use it as a term. And then I was going to do an alternate version where it's me on a chair, just like that, exactly the same, but I'm surrounded by big-titted naked women. Oh, that's cool, isn't it? I will properly draw that better at some point. Maybe I fucking won't. Who gives a shit? I will make those into stickers sooner or later. I mean, like properly printed stickers. I've just, got a lot going on at the moment. I keep either seeing things or hearing things or being told things that just push me down, fucking pushing on me, and I'm just like, I can't take any more of this goddamn. But people have said, because I've mentioned how I may not call it quits necessarily, but at least take a break from the podcast after the 250th episode, after I've effectively done, if my podcasts average, say, an hour per episode, effectively, if I make 12 episodes in one video, then, let me take a fucking break. Jesus. But there are people that are like, oh no, I hope you don't, stop doing the podcast or whatever. And yeah, even to have a few people say that, it's like, it makes me feel like, okay, I'll keep going. For you, I can tear myself apart, run myself ragged into the ground, into the dirt. For you, people. I've been working on this Death Fist page and I'm just not happy with it. That was part of it, and then I changed it. And this is a mess. It's just piles. There's always piles of shit, but it's just untethered, just messy piles of shit here. I still might do that. What fell? Oh, god damn it. I heard something fall and I don't know what it was. Fuck, it couldn't have been that important, could it? Or could it? Fuck knows what that was. I was going to say I might do a video of like, tidy up my desk. Hey, let's hang out while I tidy up my desk, and then just do like a, set the camera up looking at my desk, and then have a speed run time lapse of me fucking tidying my desk up. I might even make that as part of the 12-hour one. I might do there's going to be 2 or 3 interludes in the 12-hour episode. One of those might be a cooking interlude, where I might show you how I make one of my favourite dishes, because I got to eat at some point during that 12 hours, haven't I? So yeah, where's all my fucking Death Fist pages? There's some here, and then there's some over here. There's a box here with original comic book page artwork in it. I don't know if there's Death Fist in there or not. I think I took all the Death Fist pages out of there. I don't remember, but fuck no. So there's those there. That's it's not Death Fist. That's something else entirely. That's a couple of commissions. That's a drawing of a frog with a fag in his hand. Any excuse to use that word. There's a bit of tracing paper. I'll use that for something else later on. Oh, there we go. Some Death Fist pages. Roughs for Death Fist pages, because I just couldn't get this fucking page to look how I wanted it to look. I think this is all of Death Fist. Oh, that's nude drawings. Put those to the side. As you see this big one, I also drew 2 smaller ones, but she doesn't really want me to show those off too much because her face is in them, and I didn't realise that when I drew them, that she wouldn't want me to show them. Which is totally fine. I'm not against that. I'm in favour of that. If you want. Probably shouldn't have shown them right here, right now. Hopefully I showed them quick enough. It doesn't really matter. But, look, remember I made the teaser of my... I'm in a state right now. I'm just in a fucking state. Right. Where are we? Let's see if me talking through this to you as if I'm actually talking to another person can help me work through figuring out what I'm doing with this fucking page. So I drew these out of order because there was 2 pages that I was, and this is one of them that I was sort of figuring out how I wanted it to look. So there's I've got it labelled on my checklist to the side of me here. Tension is the thing I've written in the box. So that's tension. No, that's not tension. This is tension. This is hostage, where he's taking the kid hostage. And then the next page is tension, where it's all like, oh no, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then he's chilling a bit. This will be moved into here digitally with the power of computers. And he's going to be like, and breathe. And then the next page is this one, where you see his feet sort of lean back a bit. I really like this panel. I like drawing floors. What is that? Something about it. And he's like falling backwards into this black abyss, and then he's like falling into like a black shadow puddle thing. I think this reads pretty well. I think you can sort of, that translates. You can see what's happening. His feet are going up. He's going backwards. This motion in his poncho and shit. And then his hand and his poncho as he And then, so I wanted it to be basically another mirror where he falls down into this one and then comes up in this one. The idea being, I don't know, spoilers or whatever, but spoil-wise, the idea being he falls back into like a shadow or whatever where he is, and then he comes up out of a shadow behind Valentino with the knife to the kid's throat, and then punches him from behind, which is... I drew this page afterwards, which is punch. So then he comes up behind him, and then he readies his fist, and then thwonk, punches him from behind, goes on the ground, his knife flies out his hand. And then the next page after this one, it says tussle. Whoa, get ready for that one. That one I'm a little bit about, just in terms of how to draw it. I'll figure it out. The next couple of pages after that, it's going to be a really funny bit, which I'm looking for. Well, I think it's funny personally. We'll see how that goes. But I just my main issue I'm having. See, I wasn't quite happy with this, so I wanted him to look less like he's going like this up out of the thing, and more like he's crawling up out of it. And I think that works. That works, where he's sort of pulling himself up out of whatever black shadow it is. And then this one, I cut these two panels out of here because I liked those. So I stuck those on this new page I've drawn because I just wasn't happy with this. I might sell that. Would you buy that as a thing for a tenner? I don't know. I'd buy that for $1. That's Robocop. Robocock. All cops are bastards, even the robot ones. I don't care if he shot that guy in the dick. That was cool, you know. Even a stopped clock is right twice, you know. Well, no, it's not, because it's fucking stopped. I don't feel that this adequately translates as him moving down in place and then coming up behind the guy. I tried to show that this is the guy from behind, and then he's coming out of and then the next page is he's behind him, so he obviously must have come up behind him, but I need to make it more clear that he is coming up behind Valentino. And I think I can actually do that with one panel. If I just change that top panel to have it if I have Valentino's face here with his long nose, I'm not impressed with myself, but I guess almost proud of myself that I've managed to sort of keep Valentino looking like Valentino throughout the comic. He changes a little bit, his jaw shape gets a bit fucky here and there. His hair changed from the first 8 pages to the next because there was quite a bit of a gap of time. But for the most part, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've gotten Valentino to look on model, as it were, throughout the comic. And then I want him to be surprised, huh? What the fuck happened? I think I got that expression pretty much spot on straight away. Like that sort of raised eyebrow, wide-eyed, what the fuck? And his white guy dreads. That's how you can tell he's a bad guy, is because he's a white guy with dreadlocks. That's a comment on something. Fuck knows what I mean by that, but white people are bad, obviously. That's what critical race theory thinks. It's not. Anyone who thinks that's a fucking idiot and doesn't know what they're talking about. Also, critical race theory is never actually taught to children. It's taught to, college-age students who choose to learn about it. He needs to look more angry, surprised, as opposed to... But there needs to be confusion in his face. Just put a question mark. There you go. It was done. So his arm here. His other arm here. See, because and maybe I could just get the kid's face in here, going, oh no, oh he's gonna cut my throat open. Where, boo hoo. Oh, is he gonna cut your throat open? Oh, boo hoo, boo hoo. Call the ambulance. Oh, woo woo woo. Me oh my, gonna cut my neck open. Oh, wee wee wee. Yeah, so this might work actually if I have it like that, and then have the Paul appearing behind him, and then maybe a small insert panel with just like his face coming up out of the Death Fist's face, that is, coming up out of the blackness. A few blobs of black. I don't know if it's shadow or if it's oil, liquid, or whatever. And then, you know, put some like surprised people, maybe even literally have them pointing at it going, what is this? Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm seeing. What hellish demon is this? Oh my lord. I think this actually works a lot better than the previous, because I just don't think this translates that clearly as the guy from behind with the kid. I think it sort of works here. I think you can tell what's happening here. I think. And I only say all of this because that's what happens when you draw shit, is you see it too much and then you start to lose your grasp on what the fuck it is you're looking at. You don't know if it looks good. You don't know if it looks like a person. It all becomes a fucking mess. Which is why I'm constantly like, does this work? Does that look? I don't know. So I don't think this one works. I put the little rat in there, I thought, because that's a callback to earlier on when there was a little rat thing. I like this panel. I think this works. I could probably redraw that at a more adequate size, stick it on. Maybe add it digitally. I prefer not to, but if it comes to that, I might. And I'm not sure about the insert panel. I don't know if that's necessary. And then I don't know if I described it well or not, but then here he's like physically climbing out of the black puddle, which I think that is clear what's happening there. I think. And this is the sort of thing where this hasn't happened too much with this comic. For the most part, I have been able to just do a page, be done with it, do a page, be done with it. And I try not to dwell on any one page too much. I just want to move on, get the whole thing done, because I'm trying to tell a story. I'm not trying to make it a perfect work of art. But for certain things like this, I just don't feel like I'm trying to show something very specific, which is him going down in one place, coming up in another place, in a very specific place, with regards to his positioning in regards to Valentino. And I don't feel I was adequately showing that. But I think something more like this does. I put some shocked faces here, shocked faces here. Everyone's in shock because he's got a child's, neck with a knife to it. So shocked faces all around, and then have like some perspective lines and shit. Maybe. I think I was trying to do that sort of here. A blob. Fuck you. I shit on Sam Keith enough, and I hope that it comes across that I only do that out of a place of great love and admiration for Sam Keith's artwork and what I know he is capable of, and that when I see something like his Maxx and Batman comic, it's I don't necessarily feel I have a right to be disappointed, but it is disappointing to see, as somebody who my entire being is art. It's literally all I am. It's all I know. It's all I do. It's how I relate to the world. Any relationship I've had in the past fucking 10 or more years has been through Instagram because of meeting people on there, and that's because of my art. People only find me on Instagram because of my art. They don't find me because I'm a cool, fun person. They go, hey, his drawings are really good. Then maybe they talk to me. Then maybe, we move on from there. It's my art is just it. So art is a thing. It's how I cope with the world, which evidently I'm struggling to do. But I'm a great lover of pictures and making pictures. And so when I see someone like Sam Keith, who I know is a fantastic fucking almost top tier picture maker in terms of his craft and what he does in his little fucking miniature universe, or his part of the multiverse or whatever, him being as good as he is, when I see him put out something like that Batman and Maxx comic, it's just so it's just frustrating. Like, I know we can do so much better, and Batman has such huge potential for art, as has been shown by the fact that there's fucking billion Batman comics. Some of them have good artwork. I think I've said before, I don't care about Batman in general, but I own a lot of Batman comics because of certain artists that work on it. A lot of Bisley, obviously. The whole Batman Dread crossover thing with all those artists that worked on it. The black and white Batman is really, really good. There's that more recent one with the Batman and the Joker. Loads of Batman comics happen to be really good because they've got really good artists attached. God knows I don't read the fucking things. So you've got that. So when you've got that, I merged that into one fucking noise, didn't I? So we that. So when you take that and put it next to the Maxx, which is also a visual treat. Just the character alone is fucking... He's just cool. He's a weird shape. He's obviously some, like, teenage concoction. Just like, oh, this would be cool. Big purple guy, give him hands. And he's doing this all the time. He's fucking... But he's put together well enough that you accept it and you love it for what he is. He's a brilliant fucking visual feast. So when you have the Maxx and Batman together, it should be cool. It should be really cool art when it's drawn by someone who's known for making really cool artwork. The Maxx is as much of a cult, like a cult figure, and has such a cult following because of the artwork. I don't think the Maxx would be anywhere near as popular as it is if it was drawn by just some schmuck, you know. It's not always brilliant. You get moments like this where it's like, you could have done a bit more with that, but we'll let him off. It's fine. That's perfect. So that's why I'm looking at these now. It's just, for one thing, I'm going to be working on a Maxx piece, not really a commission, but a piece for a guy for a thing. And so, you know, I take on some inspiration for that, but also to remember the good times. Remember when Sam Keith was like producing cool shit like that. And I know that's one panel out of an entire comic. It's not, you can't focus on that too much, but remember the good days. So even like this, there's no backgrounds, but there's enough going on that it doesn't feel vacant. I love this. He's being pulled into the ground by the Izzes. And it's not just, oh no, I'm being pulled into the ground by Izzes and then leave it. Is like being pulled into the ground. And I think this is almost a typical thing of like earlier in comic book creators' careers, when they really put in the effort because they kind of have to like get a job and keep a job. And you can see that effort being put in with like drawing fucking stuff, fucking notes and things and cables and designs, all kinds of shit. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to look at. And then you see the later work and you think, oh, well, I guess you don't really have to try now, do you? You're established, made a name for yourself, you're making whatever money you're making, if it's good money or not. So why bother trying anymore, eh? Mr. Gone. Is his name Mr. Gone or is it just Gone? I don't know. Whoa. I'm just appreciating it. I always thought I draw my characters with big, silly, long heads, and this always felt a little bit too long to me. But at the same time, I like it. It's an original design as opposed to not that. And then you get that, and that's just fucking cool, isn't it? Maybe I'll do a version of that for my Maxx piece, like hand painted and everything. I might not even do Mr. Gone in there, just the Maxx going, fucking, maybe I won't, maybe I'll do something else completely. I was thinking of doing like Maxx sat on a tree, like, also, I've had these for a while. I don't really remember where I got issues 1, 2, 3 and 6, and I had 2 copies of issue 6, and they all came together in a little bag. I don't know how or where or when or why I got them, but glad to have them, it's not an easy comic to just find around, so it's cool to have it to look at sometimes for reference and or whatever. That's a cool one. See, when you actually care and you put in all the fucking effort into all the bits. I love that about the Maxx as well, is he's made up of these huge round almost vacant shapes like this, but then you put the detail in like the creases and where it counts and stuff. It makes for a really nice contrast of like big bold shapes and then tiny little fucking detailed hatchings and things. I like that on the muscles here. It's fun to look at. It's good for my eyes to look at. It makes my eyes go, oh, I like looking at that, let's look at more of that. I've always been a little bit in two minds about his weird panel shapes as well. I mean, cool, have weird panel shapes, but like, it's good when artists use them well as opposed to just having random shapes. But I do like the fact that, it's his comic, he's making it up as he goes along, does what he wants. Why not have this faucet / shaving foam dispenser that's a cow's udder? Why not? Why bloody not? Oh, he's got the girl all tied up like Princess Leia. Oh no. What's he going to do to her? I always thought this looked like a microscope, this panel, and I don't know if that's intentional or not. It doesn't seem to be relevant that it would be a microscope, but I don't fucking know, do I? Head. All I really want to do is look at pictures of the Maxx. That's the whole thing. Just get ideas. If I were going to do a Maxx painting, how would I make it look? I did that with my later issues of Gun Viking. I put like next issue, and then it's the next issue. Whatever. Shut up. Fucking no one cares about Gun Viking. Did I call him Gun Viking? I feel like, did I say that's what I did with my Gun Viking? Or did I say the Maxx? I have no idea what I'm doing. Out of sorts. That's what I am. I am out of sorts. This is really, really cool. These panels, where it's this giant flying whale, but then it's also the Goodyear blimp, and it's cut in like just enough that you can see what's going on. The tiny little details of people and cars and stuff. And you can see, like, it doesn't need to have the Goodyear logo, but it's Goodyear. Yeah, you get the point. That's good. That's really, really good. Like, it's not huge and like overblown and like with arrows pointing to it going, look at this is this, but it's also this. It's like, it's somewhat subtle, a little bit obvious, but like not too obvious, but it's really well done. That's really a really, really good little page. No, it's pretty cool lettering. That's a good one. It's like the original GTA games, where it's like top down, like a police helicopter camera, watching you run around the city, committing crimes, as well you might. I like it when he gets eyes. Because that's one thing I obviously stole for Gun Viking, as well as like his general body shape, his colour scheme, him not having pupils in his eyes. Is if I want to show Gun Viking looking in a certain direction, I really have to have his head like pointing in the direction he's looking, because I can't really do it with just his eye position. But I really like the idea of just giving him pupils as and when appropriate. That might be something that might have to be something I implement in Gun Viking. Maybe someday, I don't know. Oh, cutting her toenails, isn't that cute? Gotta get right in there and trim those bastards. She's biting them. That's pretty funny. Ooh, pretty funny. Yeah. Oh wow, Liefeld, so good. Look at that hand holding whatever the fuck this is. Look at that fist. Look at this fist and that fist holding a gun. Like this. That's how you hold a gun. That's how those work. Oh, look at this leg and foot shape. Look at this crotch creases, just completely horizontal. I mean, for what it is, completely adequate. Just quick comic book art, 90s, just fucking bleh, put it on the page. It's whatever. Lots of like metallic effects, kind of, but not. But then when you break it down, which, you know, it's my hot take. I wish I had this issue now. I don't. I love that drawing. That's a really, really nice drawing. It almost looks like it could be a different person. Like he's almost too well built in this one. Nice buttocks. I love the whatever the fuck it is, the yellow, the ink work here. I love all of that. It's really, really cool. Very pleasing to my eye. And then issue 6, I guess, where he's fighting a shark man. Oh, and Savage Dragon shows up for some reason. There's a street shark, like from the cartoons. You know, street sharks. It's pretty weird. It looks like, I guess it's just the lack of line work makes it almost look like a painting. Makes it look like a painting. But I guess it's just the colorist doing what they have to make it into something you can actually look at. Don't know what the fuck this little red guy's doing. I never noticed him before. What's going on? Fuck knows. Ooh, we love a hand-painted page. Hey, did the same thing I do, where you don't do the artwork to the right dimensions, and so you get the fucking borders. That's pretty funny. Well, that's not that funny. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. It's not one of Sam Keith's best drawings. It looks a bit rushed. But in terms of like shape and everything, I really like that. I could steal that, couldn't I? His hands both up like that. All of these chords everywhere. I say like, oh, I could steal that, but then like having to paint all of the chords, like, fuck that. If I can make more work for myself. That's cool. That's a good. See, that's how. One sec. Is it in issue 1? Yeah, it is. Cool. Alright. So that's a cool Maxx. The alleyway with his box in it. It just looks like garbage here. That's how it's supposed to look. It's got much better depth, a much better atmosphere, a lot more black, which again gives it a real heaviness, a real weight, and a deep darkness to the deep dark alley. The like cracked plaster and the brickwork, the fire escape and everything, and then the I was going to say shadows, I guess the light from whatever windows shining down, helping to create the shape of the alleyway and also helping with depth instead of fucking whatever the hell this is supposed to be. Even the box looks shit there. Sorry, Sam. Really cool single drawing of Batman. Like, it looks like it could have just been cut out and stuck on top of the rest of the artwork. Good inking and good light work. I like how the shadow isn't dark, like deep dark black shadow under there. It's got some underglow on his cheek and his nose. That's cool. On his brow also. It's just a shame about everything else. The Batmobile doesn't even have a shadow, or neither do these people. It's just fucking floating there. And the bland background, just a door, I guess. Sure, that's what you need, and it's texture as well. I know it's just like ink splats or spray paint or whatever, but you've got to have some fucking texture in there. Oh, and it's the last bit. Nice idea, but it's not that brilliantly implemented. If the Maxx was still going today, I'd absolutely send in some fan art. I'm sure they wouldn't print it, you know. Do an animation of a guy doing a switch flip manual, thinking, oh, maybe they'll show it on the podcast. Of course they don't. Why would they? I'm not mad about it. There was one. I think it is this issue. Oh no, it might not be this issue. Is it the previous issue? 3. Yeah! I was thinking I might do something like this for that piece I'm going to be working on. Maybe have it look a little bit less like a penis. Or maybe I'll have it look even more like a penis. Maybe just paint a penis with the Maxx stood on it and say, oh no, it's a tree. If you see a penis, oh, I've got some news for you, sir. Hypothetically then, if I were going to do a Maxx picture painting, there's no reason I can't do it in the sketchbook and just tear it out. I was thinking, I've got to do it on big grand paper. I don't have to, do I? It doesn't have to be big or impressive, you know, like my penis. Which, me saying that, could imply two opposite things at the same time. See, if I say it doesn't have to be big and impressive, does it? You know, like my penis. That can imply, one, it doesn't have to be big and impressive like my penis is, implying my penis is big and impressive. Or it could be saying it doesn't have to be big and impressive, you know, like my penis. It doesn't have to be big and impressive, because it's not. So that's pretty funny, isn't it? A weird little turn of word using. Oh, shit down the back of my neck. What would I Maxx if I was going to Maxx the Maxx? I'm trying to think in my head. This is how things often go. I try to. If this is me. Today I've got a smile on my face for some reason. My little ears. I've got such tiny little ears. And I'm having a think and a thought. So this whole page here is my thought bubble. I tried to visualise the page and literally visualise, for instance, a picture of the Maxx on that page as if I had painted it, how would it look? Often, or basically always, the pictures in my head are moving. They're moving pictures. Even if it's like a still image I'm trying to imagine, it's moving and shifting constantly. So trying to like pin down one frame of that moving image is very, very difficult. So I tried to be like, well, I see Maxx, and I think I'm seeing him here, and there's like dark space I'm visualizing here, and so maybe the Maxx's head would be about here. I don't know if I want him taking up this whole portion, but then maybe... Oh, and then if I put the hand up here, that could be kind of cool. Be a bit of a weird pose for him to be in, but it could look cool, and that's paramount, maybe. And that could almost fucking work, couldn't it? And then he is taking up that much space. Is that clear of what I'm visualizing? If this is the page, Maxx's head here with his funny teeth, and then hand here, typical Sam Keith Maxx fist hand, and then his other one bigger, like slightly more in the foreground up here. His chest and his ribs, whatever, his groin. And if I'm going to do the Maxx, it would be a shame not to put in his enormous feet. So I'd need to figure out a way to do that. Where was that panel? I'm clearly copying in some kind of way. I dislike a little bit the way his legs are both pointing in the same direction, but I guess it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, actually, now straight away, I think, yeah, that can kind of make sense. So I could basically steal this, but then bring this arm into the foreground, or like in front of this leg, or between his two legs, and then this arm, just pull it up here. Maybe give him some of that weird fucking shape to his mouth or whatever. Bring it down more. That could work. If I have its head here, arm up here, and then this arm kind of coming down between his legs, with his fist up like this. One leg here, one leg here, with his feet. It looks a bit awkward there, but I think on a page, I could make it work. I reckon I could make that work. Could we make that work? I reckon we can make that work. Shall we try and make that work? If nothing else, just for a little drawing in the sketchbook, let's just try and make that work, shall we? Let's try and draw the Maxx in a way that isn't shit. I've been singing in my head all day when I've had, you know, the energy to sing a little bit. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me on the Iron Man. Which is fucking stupid, but kind of funny. So I'll allow it on some level. the shoulder, bicep, forearm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm also, whenever I draw the Maxx, I'm always sort of torn because I dislike the shape of this head here, where it's like his eyes is fine and the yellow bit of his head and then creases and stuff and his cheekbones. That's fine, but I dislike this shape for his teeth. There's just something about it that doesn't sit right with me. I prefer having it like that. For me, that makes for a more visually appealing drawing / painting than that. And I guess both are like accurate to some degree, to a greater or lesser extent. He's got teeth like that there. Because they're sort of jutting outwards in it. And I know, if you're trying to give him a certain expression, you bend and twist it. Like Death Fist kind of has a skull head, but kind of doesn't. He can close his eyes and like move his mouth, and he has ears, but it's like a skull head. But he kind of has skin, but he doesn't have eyelids. He's got eye sockets with weird little white glowing pupils in them. But you bend and twist it and make it work. And maybe that's the same thing that's happening with Max's teeth, if they even are teeth. So yeah, I'm always unsure if I want to do like this with his mouth or if I want to do that with him. I don't know. And then the other leg. Yeah! Bloody yeah! Sucker poo! What a gack could that do? I was thinking, like, should I colour it or should I just ink it? I'm not going to ink it like properly, but at least give myself an idea of what I'm bloody working with. I also like that sometimes his claws are like smaller middle finger type things. Sometimes he doesn't have them at all, apparently. And then sometimes it's like almost the entirety of his hand is just this giant claw. That's quite a neat thing. Again, another like just kind of cartoon thing you can do with a comic book character. I like that. I also like, that's something I like to draw is, if you have a character, this is Character Man. He looks familiar, doesn't he? Oh, he's got tiny little ears. Is to draw them like basically like this. I'm just trying to give you a clearer indication of that. The pectoral muscles, where you really pay attention to like how pecs, where they're attached and how they work. So I like drawing them with like one arm sort of down here and then one arm stretched out, because then you draw, it really makes it look like anatomy. If you draw this pec all like bunched up, like looking like a tit, and then this one all stretched out up under the sort of armpit area, and then the muscles there. And then, if you highlight them adequately, so this one looks more bulbous, and then this one looks like it flattens out a bit more. It's a simple thing that, like, you see a lot of people who draw, I wouldn't say artists necessarily, but people who draw, it's an easy thing to fuck up and just draw, like, pecs that are always the same, like, size and shape and dimension or whatever, wherever the arms are, or whatever they're doing. But it's something I like doing. I like to pay attention to that sort of thing, because it's, again, it's one of those fairly small details that can really add a lot to a drawing. Not going to do an Ed Piss score and draw 8,000 fucking knuckle joints on his fingers. No shade to the professional cartoonist, but, you know, fucking sort your shit out. If I can do it, then fucking one who's been paid by Marvel to do an entire fucking boring X-Men series, you should be able to do it too. No shade, but you're fucking shit. I don't get the appeal of the what even is it? The Grand Designs series. Like, I get what it is. It's like telling the scope of the entire story of the thing. And I know that the whole Cartoonist Kayfabe crew have done one. Is it the Tom guy who they have on sometimes? He's done a Fantastic Four one. Ed Piskor's done the X-Men. And now, more recently, Jim Rugg has done his Hulk one. And, you know, I love the Hulk, but the whole Grand Design thing, I'm just like, it just doesn't... And maybe if you're really into, like, those characters and those stories, then sure, that's for you. I'm obviously not the target audience for that, but I just don't see the appeal. I don't fucking get it. It just seems really uninteresting to me. Plus, you know, I'm not been in the best of moods lately, and I feel like saying fuck you. I'll talk shit about some people. I think Ed Piskor's, he can draw, but it's sort of whatever, and he's a little bit too edgelord for me. And you know, I do some edgelord shit now and again, but Ed Piskor's a little bit too, like, you know, grow up. Or like, for instance, I think his Red Room series like could be really cool, but I think it's done in a little bit of an edgelord kind of way. I think it could be done in a more sort of like deeper, darker kind of way. Personally, that's what I feel. And then Jim Rugg seems a little bit of almost just like a cartoonist for hire. Like, he doesn't. I don't feel like Jim Rugg has a style that I can see. I feel like he sort of, which is, you know, can be good in a way because his style can match whatever project he needs to work on. But that's boring in a way because then it's like you don't really get a sense of character or life in his art. It's just like artist for hire. Like, fucking cool. I don't hate this. I mean, I said that as if I was expecting to. I wasn't. It feels, I think it's the legs. They feel a little bit static because my go-to is head. Arms can be doing pretty much whatever they want. Let's give him these arms here, whatever he's doing with his arms. And then for me, the legs, for it to be a dynamic pose, have to be like this. That's how you give movement and impact, dynamism. You put the legs as far apart as humanly fucking possible. See how much that changes it straight away. You're like, pow, whoa, yeah, but that won't work for trying to fit him onto a page. But like I say, I don't hate the pose that he has got at the moment. It's half, if not 3/4, stolen from the comic I've just been looking at. And it could be fun to have a little mess around painting the boots, all the details in the wraps and stuff on his boots. Could be fun. Could put that one in like all one colour, kind of shadow / not shadow. Be fun painting his muscles in, leaving gaps and putting in the details just here and there. Like, have big bulbous purple shapes here and here, and then little bits of like noodly little detail hatching and stuff. Bit of shadow from his head here, and then some shadow in his gut there. big bright yellow hands. They need a bit of work. Maybe make them more curved and more vicious. I think that could work. I think we can, you know,